everyone, I'm Mike.
And I'm Nate.
And we are
Popcorn and Powerups.
Thanks for joining, everyone. Today we've got another movie to discuss. What are we talking about, Nate?
We are talking about Field of Dreams. It's a movie about baseball.
And about a father and a son, which makes it the perfect topic for us to discuss.
That's right, Dad. Let's get to it.
Sounds good. Field of Dreams right after this.
Alright, so before we start with the plot synopsis, I have some actors to do.
Sure, take us through.
So, the first one on my notes is James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones, what's he known for?
Well, he's known for playing Darth Vader in Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, through Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. And in Field of Dreams, James Earl Jones plays a character known as Terrence Mann.
That's right. He was great.
Yeah. And Terrence Mann was a Pulitzer Prize winner in it, and also an author. Oh, and also one more thing, he was in the first Lego movie as Vitruvius.
Nice. What else you got?
So, as the main character, we have Kevin Costner as Ray Kinsella.
That's
Kevin
right.
Costner was in Man of Steel from 2013 and Horizon Chapters 1 and 2, both from 2024. Ray Kinsella is the main character and has a pretty sad backstory.
That he does,
and
which we'll get into.
his father died before the story.
No, we'll
Just
get right
giving you
into
that.
it. Yeah, there you go. Anything else for the actress?
Yeah. I got two more actors.
Go ahead.
Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta. I don't know how to pronounce his name,
Yep.
okay? He played Shoeless Joe Jackson. And Ray Liotta was in the Bee movie. Like, the one with the bees in the court to try to keep the honey and the fat lawyer guy and a baby walker.
That's right, with Seinfeld.
We're gonna have we're gonna have to do that movie later.
Yep.
And as my final actor, we have Amy Madigan.
That's right, Amy Madigan.
Amy Madigan played Annie Kinsella. Amy Madigan was in Uncle Buck.
Oh, yes.
And Twice in a Lifetime. Annie Kinsella is the wife of the main character, Ray Kinsella.
All right, sounds good. Do you have any other kind of facts to go over before we start the synopsis, or?
I mean, well.
You want to wait till we're?
Yeah, I want to wait till we're in the synopsis.
All right, that sounds good. Thanks for those details. Okay, so we're gonna get right into the plot synopsis. So this is kind of a quintessential father-son movie for sure. You know, as we get through the plot, you'll see. But it was really nice. I really enjoyed watching this with you, Nate.
Yeah. And plus, the baseball aspect of it was cool, too.
Nice. Yep, I agree. I really like baseball. I know you're not super into it, but maybe you'll be a little more into it, you know.
Yeah.
No. But let's get right into the plot. We start the movie with some narration. We get a little backstory on the farmer, Ray Kinsella. We find out that he was raised by his father because his mother passed away. He really loves baseball, and that his father died
before the story.
Yeah, before the story started. Ray, we start off with Ray in the field, kind of working as a farmer in Iowa, and he starts to hear voices. No one else hears them, and they say, "If you build it, he will come," which is like the iconic line from this movie. Yep.
It's like a comedy creepy thing there.
Yeah, you were like, "Is this a horror movie?" And I'm like, "No,
horror or comedy."
That's right.
It was more comedy.
Yep. So Ray checks in town with the other farmers, and they kind of give him a hard time. And eventually, Ray's thinking about this and the voices, and he decides to plow under his cornfield to build a baseball field because he thinks Shoeless Joe Jackson, who was a outfielder for the Chicago White Sox, the team that was basically banned from baseball for throwing the World Series. He was their outfielder, and he thinks Shoeless Joe will get to come back and play again.
Oh, I have a fact for there.
Go ahead.
So, when on the second time when we see Ray plowing his field, he looks one way to his corn and imagines, oh, a baseball field would fit perfectly there.
That's right. He just like has a vision of it. That's
Yeah.
right. Yep.
A vision.
So Ray builds the field, and time passes. We see him even having like a Christmas celebration with the family, and nothing happens. We see that the family's in financial trouble because he now has less corn to farm.
And also less money after he spent a bunch of his savings on the field.
Exactly. But then, as they're talking about their financial problems, their daughter, Karen, sees a man standing on the field. It turns out it's Shoeless Joe Jackson, or his ghost.
Yeah, since he died in 72.
Yeah. Ray goes and meets Shoeless Joe and just kind of hits some fly balls to him, or they shag flies. And they talk about the pain Joe felt being thrown out of baseball. Joe takes some hits and discusses his love of the game. Jackson says there are others and asks if this is heaven, which is kind of like an iconic question for this movie. The characters ask this a couple times, and Ray's response is, "No, it's Iowa."
Yeah.
Right. Later on, the rest of the Black Sox team show up and play on the field.
I thought
Yes, they were the White Sox, but when they got banned from baseball, they were their nickname was the Black Sox because they had thrown the game, or some of them had. They show up and play on the field as Ray and his daughter watch. And investors trying to bail them out of their financial problems by buying the farm, but they don't want to give up the farm and the field. Right?
Okay.
At this point, the voice comes back, and it says, "Ease his pain."
Oh, real quick before we continue, there's a funny Wizard of Oz reference when the Black Sox are returning back into the corn to leave.
That's right. They fade out.
Yeah, and one of them says, "I'm melting."
That's right.
Like the Wicked Witch of the West. Sure, my mom would know that.
Exactly. So the voice is very cryptic. It just says, "Ease his pain." Later on, they go to a PTA meeting because some of the more conservative people in the community want to ban some books by a quote-unquote controversial author named Terrence Mann. Here we see Ray's wife speak passionately, and she actually starts a fight to the point where she's like, "Do you want to go outside?" And they're about to fight, but they kind of get broken up. And the wife manages to kind of inspire the crowd to not ban the books and let the students have it.
Oh, real quick.
Go ahead.
So far, the two voice lines that we have is, "If you build it, he will come," and "ease his pain."
That's right, a good summary. At this point, Ray realizes that he must ease Terrence Mann, the author, that's James Earl Jones' character, he must ease his pain. So Ray spends a little time researching Terrence Mann because his wife had asked, well, what's Terrence have to do with baseball? And it turns out Terrence was kind of a baseball fanatic. He even named one of his characters in a novel after Ray Kinsella's father.
John Kinsella.
John Kinsella, thank you. I didn't write his name down in my notes, so I'm glad you remembered it.
Oh, you're welcome.
That's right. And at that point, Ray decides that he has to take Terrence Mann to a Red Sox game at Fenway Park in Boston.
Yeah.
So begins kind of the road trip part of this movie, and Ray goes to Boston and finds Terrence Mann, but Terrence slams the door. He wants nothing to do with him. He just wants to be left alone.
Oh, there's a funny part right here. When Ray Kinsella tries again to talk to Terrence Mann, Terrence Mann's like, "Oh, so we got a learning disability, don't we?"
Yeah, he really talks down to him.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, you're from the 60s." He's like, "There's no place for you in the future." He tries to get rid of him with what is it called? A flit gun, I think? Like pesticide.
Yeah, pest.
And eventually Ray pretends his finger is a gun and tries to kidnap him.
Yeah, like.
So Ray does convince him to attend the ball game that evening at Fenway Park. So they attend the game. They chat about Terrence's now quiet life. They end up watching the game, and we hear the voice again. Do you remember what the voice said, Nate?
Go the distance.
That's right.
So far we have, "If you build it, he will come. Ease his pain and go the distance."
Perfect. The voice check done by Nate. And we see stats for a player named Moonlight Graham appear on the screen, where he played 1 game and got 0 at-bats. And apparently, at the time, we think that only Ray saw those stats on the screen. Later, when they go to part ways, it turns out that Terrence also saw the stats and heard the voice.
Ooh. Right.
Yeah, plot twist. So Terrence decides to go with him to Minnesota to find Moonlight Graham.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ray's wife is facing financial pressure at home. We see her dealing with the investors, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
Without Ray there. They arrive in Minnesota, and together they look for Graham, only to find that he passed away some time ago. I think the movie takes place in 1988, and he passed away. And
yeah, I did the math. All thanks to my math teacher. Come on, just keep it going.
We're waiting for you to do the math.
I guess the character died in 1972, and it said, and Terrence Mann said it was 16 years after his death, so that has to mean, because I did it in my head, the movie takes place in 1988.
It's always good to get your son to do math.
Yeah, shout out to my math teacher.
There you go.
I hope you're happy.
Nice.
Seriously, keep that in.
So we learned that he passed away, and we also learned that Moonlight had an impeccable character, caring for children and being very generous with his money, and that he was a doctor in the community.
Oh, and also, he always held an umbrella whenever he was outside.
That's right. That's when they asked the locals kind of about him. They learn a little bit more about his personality. Later on, Terrence and Ray are kind of stumped in a hotel room, not sure what to do. And we find out that Terrence has been reported missing in Boston by his father. So Ray decides to take a walk while Terrence calls his father. And during the walk, Ray appears to go back in time to 1972. I think he sees a picture of Richard Nixon, and an ad for the movie The Godfather, and it says of this year's finest films or something like that.
But how? That would need to happen in 1972.
That's right. So he is back in time at this point. So Ray sees Graham walking along. We recognize him because he's got the umbrella that the locals were talking about. And he goes over and they chat about the 1 inning in the majors that Graham got to play. It was an uneventful inning. I think he was put into the outfield to substitute near the end of the game that they were already winning, and the other team didn't even hit it out of the infield, so he didn't even really get to do anything. He would have been sent back down to the minors, so he decided to retire rather than play another year in minor league baseball.
Well, that's sad.
It is sad because he asked, and it turns out that Graham felt like he was this close to his dream, only to have it pass him by.
Yeah. Like, you can't see this, but as close as my hands are right now.
Well, that doesn't help. They can't see. His hands were really close together, listeners.
Like, say that you have your index finger and your thumb really, really close together. That's how close.
All right.
Just so you can visualize what I was doing there.
Yeah. Ray asks Graham what his wish might be, and Graham says his wish was to have 1 at-bat in the majors and wink at the pitcher like he knew something.
Yeah.
Ray offers to take Moonlight Graham with him back to Iowa because he feels like he has a place where those sorts of dreams might come true, and Graham refuses. He says he's got to stay in his community. He's got to stay with his wife.
Otherwise, his wife will think he got a girlfriend.
That's right. His wife will think he got a girlfriend.
That's a phrase repeated through most of the rest of the movie.
They leave and go to return to Iowa. On the way, they pick up a young hitchhiker named Archie Graham, who plays baseball. We learn, and of course, Archie Graham is Archibald Moonlight Graham as he's younger. We learn that that's his kind of younger self. During the ride back, we learn a little more about Ray's father, who pushed his son to play baseball because he couldn't make it. I think Ray said his father played a couple of years in the minors, never made it to the majors, and tried to get his son to play baseball too. Ray eventually got fed up with baseball and refused to play, and chose never to even play catch with his father again. That's right, really tough. really tough. He left home at 17 and didn't see his father again until the funeral. We learned that Ray never. He says that he never got to apologize, basically, to his dad.
Yeah.
We get back to Iowa. They arrive back and meet the family, Terrence, Archie, and Ray. Turns out there are more teams playing at the field now. The Black Sox brought other teams so they could actually have games instead of just practicing.
Yeah, because they were tired of practice.
So Shoeless... Exactly.
Yeah.
Shoeless Joe invites Archie to join them. He says, "You're here to play ball, right?" So he does. And Archie gets his wish, having one at bat, winking at the pitcher. The pitcher throws it at him twice. And I think Shoeless Joe calls him over, and he said the first 2 pitches were high and tight. Where do you think the next one will be? And he says it'll either be low and away or in my ear. Right. So so Archie goes back to take his at bat, and he manages to get a sacrifice fly so that the runner from third could score. So Archie was out, but he scored a run, and he got his wish.
All right. Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
The next day, the banker guy, the investor guy, I think it's actually
Mark.
That's right, Mark. I think it's actually Karen's brother.
Yeah. It is.
Not Karen. Karen's the daughter. His wife's brother. Ray's wife's brother.
Annie's brother.
Thank you, Annie. I'm glad you have a keen memory.
Actually, no. I just looked at my notes.
Oh, good. So you took better notes than me. Perfect. So the brother Mark shows up to pressure the family to sell during the game. He even walks right past all the players. We should mention that none of the other people except the family, like Terrence and Archie and all, none of the other people can see these ball players except for the family. The daughter insists that they don't have to sell, and they emphatically refuse to sell. The daughter insists. She says people will come to see the games and pay them. And Terrence joins her in saying that people will come. We see more pressure being applied by Mark, and Ray has to decide now to sell or be foreclosed on in the morning when the bank opens. Terrence gives a big speech about the power of baseball, and Ray ultimately decides not to sell. There's a little bit of a physical altercation at the bleachers, and the daughter, Karen, falls off the bleachers and isn't moving when she falls off. So everybody is kind of freaking out because the daughter's not moving. The wife, Annie, right?
Yeah.
Annie runs off to call an ambulance, and everybody's staring. Ray is staring at the field because he sees Archie, the kid, who kind of ran up to the edge of the field, and he tells his wife to wait. And Archie pauses for a minute and then steps out of the field and appears as his older self, who was the doctor back in Minnesota. He ends up saving their daughter because she was just choking on the hot dog she had been eating. But unfortunately, once he stepped off the field, he can't go back and play as the kid he was. He's stuck kind of as the doctor now. He walks back onto the field and kind of goes to leave, and all the ball players congratulate him. And he says, "Win one for me, will ya? Will you, boys?" And at this point, Mark, the investor guy, can actually see the players now, and he insists that they keep the farm. I guess when Archie came off the field, it kind of revealed everything to him. At this point, as the players go to leave, Shoeless Joe invites Terrence to go out with them, kind of implying that he's going to go out sort of, into heaven or wherever they go after when they dissolve into the corn. And Ray is really upset that he isn't invited with Terrence because it's his field. You guys are staying in my corn, he said. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In his corn.
Terrence says that he will leave with the players and write about what he finds. Shoeless Joe remains and repeats the voice's first line. What was it again?
If you build it, he will come.
He will come. And we see one other player standing around on the baseball field. And Ray realizes it's his father. Those lines, all of them again, Nate, what were they?
If you build it, he will come. Ease his pain.
And go the distance.
Yep.
It turns out those lines were about his father and Ray, his father the whole time, and Ray. They kind of applied to Ray too. So they go to speak to John Kinsella and introduce themselves. the family leaves Ray with his father, and they discuss heaven as the place where dreams come true. Because John asks again, "Is this heaven?" And Ray says, "No, it's just Iowa." But then he thinks about it, and Ray asks John if there is a heaven, and John says, "It's the place where dreams come true." So Ray thinks for a second and says, "Maybe this is heaven after all."
I mean, he did say it was the place where dreams come true.
Yep. And they end the movie with John's going to leave, and Ray asks his dad. He says, "Dad, can we have a catch?" And so they have a catch together as the movie ends, and we see a line of people in cars coming to the field to watch.
Oh, there's a blooper here.
You found a blooper at the at the big emotional moment at the end.
Yep.
What did you find?
So, when you see when you see Ray and John playing catch, Mark's Jeep isn't parked near the pole anymore, even though it already was. And then when the camera pans out to show all the cars coming, the Jeep magically appears parked next to the pole.
Oh, nice continuity error.
Yeah.
I love those.
Yeah, they're fun. They're fun. Really fun.
There you go.
Lots of fun.
So that ends the movie, Field of Dreams. So we're going to get to our reactions to the movie and the themes in our final review in just a bit. But before we do that, you know what's even better than reactions and themes and reviews?
An ad.
So here we are in another ad. Nate, who's sponsoring us for actual money this time?
Corn.
I'm sorry, corn?
Corn.
What?
Look, the farm.
Like the band.
Look.
We got a sponsorship from the band.
No,
Corn?
we didn't.
Yeah.
Look.
God the lie.
No,
God
Dad.
the lie.
I don't know what you're talking about, but the cows told the farmer to reach out to us and actually pay us for this sponsorship being corn.
The farmer. You mean we're sponsored by the vegetable?
Yes, we are sponsored by the vegetable
crop
corn.
Of corn.
Is
it corn? Is it corn on the cob or corn in a can?
Both.
All right.
Every type of corn, even my school's corn. Actually, they're pretty good.
Okay. Well, all right.
Every type of corn
I shouldn't
is
jump to
our
conclusions.
Sponsor, okay?
How much are they paying us?
Half a cent.
They're not paying us.
I mean, actually, more like 1/1,000,000th of a cent.
That's zero. Okay, so listeners, because of our sponsorship with the vegetable corn, go eat corn.
Oh,
corn
God.
on the cob, corn out of a can, popped corn even. Have corn.
Oh God, I want revenge against these cows and the farmer. I want vengeance.
That is corn.
Absolutely impeccable. Great job with the synopsis, Dad.
Thank you.
Alright, so my initial reaction right as the movie ended was, it was really happy. Like, I mean, I know this guy was about to cry with happy tears.
I was definitely, this is a father-son movie, and it always gets me a little teared up.
Yeah. And I really liked the movie. And it was really, really happy at the end. And plus, baseball.
That's right. Yeah, I felt the same way. You know, I've seen this movie a couple times. And I think you actually saw it once when you were a lot younger. So it's been a while since you've seen it. So
there was one part that seemed familiar to me.
Yeah. And my thoughts were just, it's a really powerful, emotional movie to watch with your son, especially because you have the whole movie is about Ray, going through all of this and kind of looking to reconcile with his father. Terrence Mann calls it his penance for kind of leaving and not seeing his father, and making up for it. So it's definitely very powerful.
Yeah, and sadly, Ray couldn't reconcile with his father because he was just being a jerk. He was away.
Yep. So that's kind of our initial reactions. The themes, Nate. I didn't really write anything down, but really it's kind of there's a lot of things you could think about as far as themes go. Do you have any themes on your mind?
Like, a father-son theme.
Yeah, for sure. Like, we record a podcast together, and they have a catch together. But yeah, I think kind of the theme of, while you have time with your loved ones,
make the most of it.
Make the most of it, right?
Yeah.
And what a great theme that is.
Yeah.
For a father-son podcast to cover, don't you think?
Exactly.
Did you have a favorite part of the movie, Nate?
I mean, it was definitely like the baseball parts, like when they're playing the game, hitting home runs and stuff like that. Definitely all the parts where they were playing baseball.
Nice. Did you like the guys kind of busting each other's balls?
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me, the Ray Liotta's really good in it. I like him as Shoeless Joe. Yeah. And I like the soundtrack. The music is kind of powerful to me. Especially the theme that plays at the end while they're having a catch. That it kind of tears me up a little bit, just even hearing the music.
Yeah.
So what about a final review, Nate? Do you want to rate it on a scale 1 to 10?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. What would you give the movie?
I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Oh, nice.
It wasn't my favorite. It wasn't my favorite, but it's definitely in my top 30.
There you go. Awesome. That's a great score.
Yeah.
Especially since it's not really it's a father-son movie, but it's not necessarily like your typical kids movie, cartoony, whatever, action-packed. So I'm surprised, but I'm also happy that you gave it such a high score.
I really liked it.
Nice.
It was a lot of fun at a bunch of parts, and of course it was really sad at times and happy at times. What about you? Yeah,
I mean, I'd give this one a 9 out of 10. The father-son theme really resonates with me since I have a son, and a father, right? So I really appreciate that. I do love baseball. I don't get to watch it as much as I used to, but the baseball theme's great. James Earl Jones is in there, and you always think about Darth Vader when you hear his voice.
Exactly.
So it's a great cast. So yeah, I can't help but give it a really good score. Very resonant themes, great. The score for the movie, the music's really good.
Yeah.
So for me, that's a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, you got a really good score for it.
So that does it for our Field of Dreams episode, the sappy father-son movie that I made you watch.
Sappy? I mean, I really liked it.
I'm glad you liked it, Nate.
Yeah.
Glad you liked it. Do you have anything else to add for Field of Dreams?
Not really. I mean, I like the name. It was a pretty good name.
Yeah, the field where dreams come true. Like this podcast. The podcast where dreams come true right here.
Yeah, sure.
So, everybody, thank you for listening. And until next time, we are
Popcorn and Powerups. Have a great day.